We'll figure these things
Who
out.
how?
We'll
He's
figure
supposed
them
to
out.
figure it out.
But you make your own money, so don't stress.
I can't make it if I'm.
But don't stress on that though right now.
I have to.
You're moving too fast, cuz. You're moving too fast.
Slow it down. And now it's like, no. This is what it is. The image is in her head. She can't get it out. Triggered to a point where the image is locked in and only her ideas exist. Her friend tried, but it wasn't entering into the dome. The girl had an idea in her head, and this is a lesson for all of us again, that we can get images in our head and then we refuse to communicate because your friend is here trying to be wise, talk to you and say, hey, slow down, let's think about this. Because I think she sensed Kris is a good guy. It's just a 50-50 situation. And I think, I'm not saying that she probably thought that, oh, you know, he's actually a provider or anything, but I think she probably saw he's a good guy and at least slow it down. Don't go into a rage yet. Don't make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. You understand? Let me say it again. Don't make permanent decisions like kissing Edwin on temporary feelings. You feel me? So now she goes to Edwin. And this is where I think it gets tricky. And I don't want to go too deep because I want to do a part 2 of this. When she goes to Edwin, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because how quick... Remember I told you guys, it's Nyaa who's pushing the kissing all the time, you know. The situation with Edwin, yeah, as they were talking, she's the one that pushed up on him. She's the one that was rubbing his head. She was the one that was rubbing his neck. She's the one that issued the kiss.
We needed some hot baby.
Those scalp massages I do.
Oh, scalp massage, that'll put me to sleep.
Like, let me see. And like...
You keep playing.
Right, to the point that he was surprised how forward she was. Now... that looks like, sis, that looks like you're just here for a baby daddy. I'm just going to be real with you. You look like you're just searching for someone to sperm donor you rather than really connect with you. We didn't see the other dates. We didn't see it. So we don't know exactly what happened. But the speed of change, how you kissed Ed, and I told you, listen, guys, some people think that kissing is calm for them. For me, it isn't. I think kissing is a big thing. If you put your lips on me and then go and put your lips on someone else, are you mad? You want to touch these pillows right here and then touch his pillows as well. Do you know where his pillows have been? And you want to come and put your lips on my pillows? Oh, nah. This ain't one of them films, baby. Okay? That's not me. You understand? And so that whole vibe, she actually coached Edwin what to say in that moment. That's what also frustrates me.
We know that men protect and provide.
Correct.
Like, for you, what does that look like as far as your role? How do we handle the home finance?
Instead of allowing Edwin to say how he feels about providing, she kind of coached him by saying, obviously, I just had a conversation with Kris and, you know, So already, he can already tell, okay, that didn't go too well, right? So his antennas are already going to go up.
Them family members don't play.
They were giving it to him?
There's some things got put on my mind immediately. And so one of the questions that I asked, and I'm going to see how you answer it.
Then you decide, okay, I'm asking this question because obviously I asked the question, how do you feel about providing, Let me be very frank with you. Edwin actually gave a nuanced answer. When I say nuanced, he gave a different range of answers, okay? He didn't actually just say about providing and paying all the bills. He actually gave another answer, but they cut him off on own TV. I think they did it on purpose to provide us the drama with Nyaa, but he actually he was talking and then he goes on to say, look.
I know women that will say it's a man's responsibility to take care of this. Is he in a position to be able to do that? If he is, great.
But that's so cool that you recognize that. I think that's like...
Yeah, I believe a man should provide. He should have multiple streams of income. Although he didn't say that he has multiple streams of income. He says he believes a man should have that. We don't know what he has. He never discussed it. And then he went on to, and then he went on to say, oh, you know, if a man can provide all the things, then he should. You're right. He should. If a man can, he should. But what if he can't? And that's what Edwin was about to allude to, that every man wants to be able to do this. Most men anyway. Some men are lazy, that's different. Most good men want to be able to live that life where they can provide for their wife, because it's an ego thing for us men. Obviously, if it stretches us beyond our limit, then it's a different story, right? There's no point suffering as a family just because you want to prove that you got a great ego. There's no point trying to prove to your family or to you or to whoever you need to prove it to that, hey, you know me, I can pay all the bills, but then you have nothing left over at the end of the month. Like, don't make sense, right? So, for me watching it, obviously, you see that. Obviously with the speed of how she dropped Kris to get with Edwin and then coaxed Edwin into the actual answer. That's what was concerning for me. I was looking at it like, yo, babe, like, you do know that obviously my man is like not feeling the same way. Like, I haven't actually given him a chance to really answer because you actually interrupted him by stating about what Kris had done. And actually that means that he's actually now no longer giving the most truest answer to you. And like I said, by the way, he didn't actually say that, he didn't actually say that that's what he's doing anyway. But anyway, moving on from that, all right?
The turn happened.
There's some stability. There's some similarities. It's more congruent to my list and what I pray about. Not all the way, but it's less work I'm gonna have to do.
I get the fact there's an importance of financial stability, and ladies, do not budge on that. And when you get to a certain age, and there's financial stability is important, right? And stability again must be discussed. What does financial stability look like to you? What does it look like? Because to other people it looks different. To other people it looks completely different. You must discuss that. Now with Nyaa, I understand 50-50 isn't a thing, splitting the mortgage isn't a thing. I get that. Discuss that issue, right? And so what was interesting is that when she gets into the cavern, okay, and even before the tavern, Nyaa obviously has, like I said, a valid reason as to why she wants to provide a role. Had she discussed this with Kris, this could have been a different scenario. We don't get to see this discussion if there was one. It doesn't look like there was one. We get the dinner table situation.
Well, I did say it wrong. You know how I roll. I wanted to clear that up.
Okay. I would love to have 30.
Right there at the dinner table. All right, and he's obviously, and this is how you know that Kris is a great guy. He's gone to the girl, he's gone to Joy, who's his friend. He's spoken to Simone as well. Alex joined and obviously he spoke to them. Quite candidly and openly said, obviously, look, I spoke about this, Now, this is one thing I would disagree with Kris with. I don't think he lived his full truth. Sir, you're a 50-50 kind of guy. No, you are. You are a 50-50 type of guy, yeah? Don't worry about the mortgage payment. You are a 50-50 type of guy, right? Split the bill. That's what you meant. You meant it. When you said it, you meant it, right? What you should have said is, listen, I mean, look, I'm not necessarily 50-50, but what I would say is that obviously I think, help me out with some of the bills, because obviously if I can't live the life, I want you to live the lifestyle you've lived before, et cetera, right? But he said split the bills. That was his truest sentiment. What he said at first was his truest sentiment. He was thinking.
Take care of the utilities, or we split the mortgage or whatever, and then once I thought about that, nah, that's not
the right answer.
Yeah, that's not the right answer, because a man is going to take care of the mortgage,
He just realized that the answer was wrong. And because he likes her, he wants to now kind of maybe change the answer a little bit. Not necessarily change it all the way, but kind of coax it a little bit, right? But sir, your answer was what your answer was. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, there are women out there that will happily do 50-50. As you said to her, there are women that were willing to pay. And what's interesting is Nya's response. Well, they're crazy. No, they're not crazy, Nyaa. They just have a different understanding to you, okay? That there are women out there that want to pay because they earn so much, they can do.
Want a man to do, for them, and they want to handle,
they crazy as hell. Now, you're entitled to how you do things in your opinion.
Okay, and this is why I would say for anybody who is earning a lot of money, I'm talking about women especially, there may need to be a compromise on a financial situation, because you may find it's difficult to find a man who earns more than you. It's not impossible. I want you to hear me very clearly. It is not impossible. But in order to maybe to proceed, you may need to find someone who doesn't earn as much as you. If you do have to go with someone that doesn't earn as much as you, now you have to look at the essential qualities of that individual person. Can they love you? Can they care for you? Are they strong enough to have their ego in check because they don't earn as much as you, right? Are they focused on your health, your mental health, your spiritual health? Are they focused on your financial health as well? I mean, can they lead in other areas? You know what I'm saying? And when I say lead, as in they don't have to earn more, but can they lead? Because that's what, and can you allow him to lead? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Making the most money doesn't make you a leader. Do you understand? It's polarized. It shouldn't be that way. You could earn a lot of money, but don't know how money works. All right. Anyway, listen, that's another conversation. But and so he tries to have that conversation with Nyaa at the dinner table, and her energy is so raw, it's off. So my man's clocked it. He's clocked it. Wow, something's changed, bruv. No. Something's gone different. You're moving a bit different. And the tone and the energy that she used to speak to him at several points on that dinner table was concerning.
A chance to learn. You don't know what you don't know.
Normally, Nyaa and I have really good, deep, meaningful conversations.
It's like, sis, were you not feeling this guy not long ago? Were you not feeling him? You know, and the same thing happens when they get to the tavern, right? In front of all the girls. Suddenly, Nya's behavior, her behavior has become abysmal. You know, it's abysmal. Again, I understand the trauma, but at a point also too, just like we say with Denise, you've got to be able to handle. You got to be able to handle you've got to take responsibility for your behavior. You understand? We know you've been under trauma, but now your behavior is affecting other people. You understand? So when she's obviously in the tavern, she's asked by Tommy, you know, how you were gung-ho about Kris, and then she comes out and says,
gung-ho about nobody. I don't know Kris.
Okay. Last time we talked, hold on. You were into Kris.
I was obliging him.
No, I weren't. No, I really weren't. I'm like, whoa. Where does this energy shift? See, suddenly you're going back on it, but you were gung-ho. You were doing shoulder drops. You were doing that lean back all the way, weren't you? But now suddenly, when they're asking about Kris, because he doesn't fit your bill in terms of finances, you've dumped him to the wayside. Let me tell you something that's going to happen. Edwin is not going to feel. Edwin's not going to fall for you that way. Edwin's not going to. And if he does, he's a fool. Edwin is not going to fall for a girl who does that. You know why? Because he'll be next. If you can drop someone that coldly because of what you done and the way you did it, not because of, it's not what you can have your list. And listen, if you're praying about your list, listen, I would expect God to also pray that one of the fruits of the spirit, you understand, like, you know, kindness, kindness, that would be the fruit of the spirit, my friend. Do you understand? If you want to mention God, make sure you mention the fruits of the spirit, kindness. Okay, sis? Yeah, that was not kind. Okay, so although you had your list, there is a way to deliver that you are no longer feeling the person.
Similarities. It's more congruent to my list and what I pray about. Not all the way, but it's less work.
Anymore. But you dropped in like a sack of potatoes at that point shows that because of your trauma, what you've gone through, and also it could just show your attitude. Maybe that is your attitude. When you're not getting what you want, when you're not feeling it anymore, you decide to go into a mode where you just drop the person anyhow, anyway. And that shows an immaturity. If we are talking about Brian not having a conversation with Alicia before he goes into Alex's room, what about you, sis? Did you discuss it with him? Because it looks like you didn't. And if you didn't, I expect the women to bring heat, because it wasn't long ago that Alicia was talking about and Joy too. Let me come to Joy. Let me come to Joy, because Joy was one of the people that were out here telling about, oh, I didn't like Brian as well because of the way that he did Alicia. Sis, I need to hear some vocality, okay, in the tavern for your boy Kris, because that's your friend. You were quick to drop David, quick to drop Brian for their behavior, but if you can't drop your sister when your sister's doing mad things, I don't want to hear your voice. Because Nya's moving a bit mad right now, so I expected you to say something like, yo, man, you're moving a bit mad right now, Nyaa, you know. But you are quick to drop the David and the Brian.
Pleading filled all the way in single.
To be fair, he felt bad about that answer, and he's my therapist.
We're talking about what happened at that moment.
Okay.
So the people that defended Kris in the tavern, who by the way got shot down by Nyaa as well, were Alex and Simone, who are not his best friends. So, and I want to commend Alex and Simone, because they stood up for Kris, right? And the reason why I'm saying about stood up for Kris, because Kris is seemingly an upstanding kind of guy. Right? When Brian was moving mad, he said something, right? He said, listen, bro, like the way you're moving is mad. Don't do that, right? He's focused on one woman, which is you, Nyaa. You know, he's made you feel comfortable saying, listen, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah? And the way you dropped him like this, sis, come on. I'm all for the games, B, but it looked like you two were doing a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? You look like you were doing playing 21, 1 versus 1, and suddenly you just dropped him like a sack of potatoes. Work out the way you want it to work out. There are people that you start liking and you might get an ick. And I can understand that. Maybe she got an ick. Yeah? Maybe she got the ick. Suddenly you realize, oh, I just don't like that guy anymore. But it's a way to let somebody land. The fact that obviously Joy had to say, listen, at the end to KG, listen, you don't want Nyaa to come and tell you, like, come to the end. Let's be honest, I don't think that Nyaa had a conversation with Kris about his behavior. I don't think she had a conversation about the fact that she felt a certain way about him, his finances, etc. Because even his responses at the end did not show that he had a conversation with Nyaa, because he said he feels hurt right now. And in another interview with Crystal, he spoke about the fact that had he played the game, he would have been in there longer. You know, he might have done, you know, but he put all his eggs into one basket, and I rate that. And I thought Nyaa was doing the exact same thing, and I rated that. And I was saying, look, fantastic, go on, do what you got to do. But then we see this attitude in the tavern, which was just, yo, shutting down Simone, shutting down Alex. Sis, everybody's now looking at it like you're mad. There's a way to do things. Guys, there's a way to do things. This has been the longest video I've ever probably even done on Ready to Love. There is a way to do things. There's a way that you handle situations. There's a way that you let people down gently, because karma, I don't want to talk about even karma as a Christian, but when you sow stuff, you reap stuff. Yeah, and I get that you're feeling in trauma, Nyaa, but this was unacceptable. Very unacceptable. And you said about the turnaround was the financial instability. What conversations were you having before that? Y'all were in a resort, so you see each other all the time. What conversation were you having before that? And even if he was financially unstable, the speed of the turnaround, the speed of how you went to Edwin to talk to him, concerning. It tells me more about your attitude than it does about him and his instability. So, guys, I want to make sure you guys like, share, subscribe for more content like this. Hopefully the next video won't be this long, but I was disappointed in Nyaa so much. And again, I pray that somebody here sends this to her, make sure she watches it, she can see a different change. It's not the way to go, sis. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded, more love.